Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And today, it is draft eve, the day before the 2025 NFL draft. And here we are today with my biggest video yet in the little over 1 year history of the channel. 3 rounds, 102 draft picks. I am going to be here today doing a 3 round mock draft, days 1 and 2 of the draft. And I'm going to be going over some trades I have happening, what I think's going to happen, how I think it's going to shake up, and everything that goes along with it. So, yeah, this is going to be a long one. Grab some popcorn, grab a snack, because you better strap in because we're going to be here for a while and we're going to have some fun talking about the NFL draft that happens tomorrow. I'm currently recording this at 10:31 a.m. on Wednesday morning. This will go up probably early tomorrow morning on Thursday morning, maybe 7 or 8 in the morning Eastern time. But yeah, I'm recording this on Wednesday morning. So here we go. We're going to get right into it. Before I do, if you guys enjoy, please like, subscribe. This has been the most work I've ever put into a video. I'm going to be editing this later today. I'm going to try to schedule it for tomorrow morning and get this out by 7 or 8 in the morning tomorrow. I am so excited for the draft and I cannot wait. So without further ado, let's start this thing up. Let's go. My final 2025 3 round mock draft with trades included. Okay. We start off Tennessee Titans, #1 overall pick. I'm pretty sure it's just pretty set in stone at this point, to be honest with you. They're going to take quarterback Cam Ward out of Miami. There's no really disputing that at this point. Um, Originally, there was talks they could trade out, maybe take out Joel Carter, but now it's pretty set in stone. Everybody knows the #1 overall pick is going to be Cam Ward out of Tennessee. I mean, out of Miami. He's going to be the new Tennessee Titans quarterback, replacing Will Levis, and he is their future guy. So, yeah, that's pretty set in stone. There's no disputing that anywhere. So, that's it for that. You go to the Cleveland Browns at #2 overall. There has been reports that #2 and #3, the Cleveland Browns and the New York Giants, have been in discussions about trading out of the pick potentially. But who knows? They could stick and pick. Maybe no one has a desire to move up. We'll see what happens. What I think is going to happen with the Cleveland Browns stick and pick, it's going to be Travis Hunter here. I think that's the guy Andrew Berry has talked most highly of. I think they're going to play him at receiver. Andrew Berry has said they see him primarily as a receiver. But I think he's primarily a corner, but receivers make more money. That's the higher market, and I think that's where the Cleveland Browns are going to end up playing him. But I think that's the direction the Cleveland Browns going. And then you get to #3, the New York Giants. It is pretty much between two players at this point. What do you look at? Who do they prefer? #1 being Abdul Carter, the defensive end out of Penn State, in my opinion, the #1 overall prospect on my big board this draft cycle. Versus, do they take a quarterback in Shador Sanders, the quarterback out of Colorado? I think they're going to end up picking Abdul Carter. I think it's the right choice. New York Giants brought in quarterbacks Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston this offseason. I do not think they add a third quarterback to the room at this very moment. Let's see if they do later in the draft. That'll be interesting to see. But I think they're going to stick and pick Abdul Carter at #3 overall, and he is their guy. Then, #4 overall, New England Patriots. I think this one's pretty set in stone, too. Rumors have been flooding across this pick in the past few days now of who they're going to pick here. And I think it's going to be Will Campbell, a tackle at LSU. That's been the biggest rumor. I mean, if Abdul Carter falls to them, it'll probably be Abdul Carter. But if the Giants stick and pick Abdul Carter, it will be Will Campbell being a New England Patriot and at your 4th overall pick. So that's your top four. And that's about all I'm sure on this draft. I think that's your top four. If nobody trades out, I think that's the direction all of these teams go in. And I don't think there's much disputing that around the NFL world right now. But now, the biggest story in the NFL right now is what in the world do the Jacksonville Jaguars do at #5? There's been talks about Ashton Jeanty, the Heisman runner-up running back from Boise State. There's been talks about Mason Graham. The Jacksonville Jaguars need defensive line help. There's been talks about the Jaguars potentially taking Tyler Warren, a tight end. There's been talks about Kelvin Banks. There's been talks about Membu. There's been talks everywhere, and nobody knows Ted McMillan, another guy. Nobody knows where the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to go with this pick, and I have an idea. Here we go, our first trade of the draft, and I have a team in mind I think is going to move up. I am taking the Chicago Bears to move up. I bet you can assume where I'm going with this. Obviously, a 5 for 10 swap here, and I'll say Chicago probably gives up 41, or they can give up 39, and I'd say like a later one, like 233. Send the trade through. The trade goes through. In this mock draft simulator, I don't believe trades are possible to be declined. I don't know. Who knows if trades can be declined? I like the undo pick and undo trade buttons. So that's pretty cool. But the Chicago Bears trade up to number 5, and I think Ben Johnson has one guy in mind. Ashton Genty. The Chicago Bears move above the Las Vegas Raiders. They snag this all-pro potential all-star running back out of Boise State who broke absolute records this past season, and Ben Johnson gets his guy. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. Obviously, Ashton Genty was about to fall in their lap. Chicago just stole him from them. But I think Pete Carroll and the boys pivot, and I think they go Armand Membu. Obviously, Vegas needs tackle help. It's been rumored they're between Genty and Membu, and if Genty doesn't fall into their lap, I think that's the direction they're going to go in. I think they pick tackle in that position, and they get their guy in Membu. New York Jets, another interesting pick. A lot of people are saying different directions here. Could they pick receiver, put a guy aside of Garrett Wilson? Could they pick Tyler Warren? A big fan. A lot of people are a big fan of him, the tight end prospect out of Penn State. They also could be a trade down candidate. Does someone move up? It'd be interesting to see. But New York Jets at number 7, I'm gonna have them sticking and picking. Obviously, we saw Chicago. I had Chicago moving into number 5. I'm gonna have the New York Jets sticking and picking here, and I think they picked Tyler Warren out of Penn State. I think the Jets need security in that tight end position. They haven't had security in that tight end position in forever. Obviously, Tyler Conklin walked in free agency to go to the Los Angeles Chargers, and I think they need a playmaker at that position. Get another weapon for Justin Fields, and they get their guy. Number 8 overall. Here we go. We're moving now. Number 8 overall, Carolina Panthers. Interesting, because there's a lot of different ways they could go too. They could take Ted McMillan. They could go the receiver, get a guy aside of Adam Thielen. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what they do. They could go Mason Graham. Obviously, Carolina needs defensive line help. Carolina really needs defensive help. I think they probably go defense, but I really could see a scenario where they go wide receiver here with Ted McMillan, but I think they let him fall a little bit more. I think it's Jalen Walker and Mason Graham. I think Mason Graham's the guy to be more likely to fall in this position and Carolina to snag him. In my opinion, DT1 in this draft, defensive lineman 2 right behind Abdul Carter, and I think Carolina falls right into their lap. Dave Canales and the boys get him on the board, and it adds a really nice piece aside of Derek Brown, and yeah, gets Carolina a star on the D line. New Orleans Saints, another very interesting one here, because there's a lot of directions they could go. Everybody and their mother is talking about Shador Sanders to the New Orleans Saints lately. Do the Saints like Shador Sanders? He's likely to fall in their lap at this point. At this point in the draft cycle, his stock has fallen a little bit. He is likely to fall into their lap at number 9 overall. Do the Saints stick and pick him and make him their quarterback in the future? Or they could go in a different direction, get an edge rusher, outside linebacker with Jalen Walker. They get a corner in Will Johnson. They could add receiver help. They could get an edge in Michael Williams. There's different directions they could go here. This one's tough. I honestly have an idea of where I'm going, and it involves both of the Georgia pass rushers in Michael Williams and Jalen Walker. It's really, in my opinion, who do the Saints prefer? I do not believe they are big fans of Shador Sanders, despite speculation across the NFL world. This one's interesting because I don't know where they go. I think more teams might like Jalen Walker a little bit better. Michael Williams has traits, but he's a little bit raw. The production hasn't been elite. I'm gonna say the Saints take Jalen Walker at number 9. That's who I'm gonna have them going with. But I could see Michael Williams. I could see Shador Sanders. I mean, I could see Shamar Stewart. A lot of hype around him. But yeah, I'm gonna go Jalen Walker there and have the Saints stick and pick him. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars are back on the clock with pick 10 being in their possession now from the Chicago Bears trade. Still, a lot of guys have fallen into their lap. Michael Williams, Will Johnson, potential guys. Kelvin Banks potentially being a guy they might like at the tackle position. Ted McMillan's still on the board there if they want to stick and pick him. Different directions they could go. I have an idea where I'm going to go, and I think it's where the Jaguars go. I'm going to say they take Ted McMillan. I think their idea of trading down was they see the teams in between them. I mean, maybe the Carolina could take Tet, but you move Vegas, Jets, Carolina, and New Orleans. You move from 5 to 10. Tet McMillan is likely still going to fall into your lap if they had their eyes on him at number 5. You get more draft pick compensation, and Chicago moves up to number 5 to get Genty. Jags still get their guy, Tet McMillan, at number 10. Okay, that is your top 10 right there. That is your top 10. I'll scroll and make it even here. There you go. Your top 10 of round one. And we move to number 11, Carolina. San Francisco 49ers at number 11. Here we go. Offensive lineman is heavily rumored here. Trent Williams is getting on the older side, and Kelvin Banks could potentially slot in at guard and give the Niners someone to move there. You also see Will Johnson. Niners, they did lose Charvarius Ward. Diamador Lenore is still there, but they could use an outside corner that they might like. Jade Barron, also, a lot of scouts and executives have been rumored to really like him a lot. And I think I'm going to go with Kelvin Banks here. He's been getting hyped up in the last few weeks. He's pretty versatile. He's mainly a tackle, but a lot of teams could potentially see him as a starting guard. And I think with Aaron Banks leaving the door, going to Green Bay, I could see the Niners slotting him in at guard and taking Kelvin Banks, and that's the direction I'm going to go. Okay, then you get to the Dallas Cowboys here. This is also a team I could see trading back. I could see a scenario here with a team trading back. I think they wanted Genty. Obviously, at this point, it didn't seem like likely that he would fall to them. But you also see a receiver. Matthew Golden is a guy I'm looking at heavily here. Has been rumored that Jerry Jones is a big fan of him and could potentially want him in the draft, and that's the direction I'm going to go. I think Dallas gets a guy aside of CeeDee Lamb to produce now. You can never have enough receivers in this league. I will never stop saying that. Brandon Cooks walked out the door, missed out on Stephon Diggs. So I'm going to take Matthew Golden, and I think that's the direction the Dallas Cowboys go, staying in the state of Texas to play for the Cowboys. Okay, Miami Dolphins. One storyline here is Teron Armstead, the All-Pro, former Pro Bowl tackle for the Dolphins, did hang up the pads this month, I should say. I think he hanged up the cleats, I should say, earlier this April and retired. Do the Dolphins take tackle? They could take corner. Looks like Jalen Ramsey could be on his way out the door with a maybe a draft day trade, maybe a trade. The Dolphins might have a position there at corner that they might need. To be honest with you, a lot of this tier tackles, unless they opt for Josh Simmons, a lot of general managers are big fans of him. His medicals came back pretty positive, and he might be drafted higher than expected. So I could see Miami going in that direction right here. But I think they're going to go to the cornerback position. We see Jalen Ramsey out the door, and outside of Jalen Ramsey, that cornerback room has not really lived up to the hype. Cater Kohu hasn't been that great. I mean, Cam Smith out of South Carolina, I liked him a few years ago coming out of the draft, has not shown up at all. And I think they're going to get the Michigan man, Will Johnson, to join the Miami Dolphins, and that is their guy. Number 14, Indianapolis Colts. I am set in stone on who I think they're taking here. And I think it's going to be the Michigan tight end, Colston, Loveland, Michigan men back to back, Texas guys back to back. Colston, Loveland. I think Shane Steichen loves weapons, and he adds a guy right next to Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, Alec Pierce. The Colts, Chris Ballard was in the tight end market last year. There was rumors they could trade up for Bowers. They didn't end up doing that. And I think this year they snagged a guy they like, Colston Loveland, in the first round. Atlanta Falcons, I think the position at least is pretty set in stone. It's who do they like here? Michael Williams, Shamar Stewart, Mike Green. Pick choose your character basically and who the Atlanta Falcons select here. I think it's gonna be a pass rusher. Raheem Morris knows this team needs more juice from the pass rush department. And I think that guy is Michael Williams. I think it's been rumored to see that he might go higher than expected. He has a ton of traits. Production wasn't great at Georgia, but the traits are definitely there. He has elite potential. I'm not personally a fan of him as a prospect, but I see the vision that some people have on him, and I think that Atlanta, they know they need pass rush help, and they could take Shamar Stewart. They could take Mike Green. I'm a big fan of Mike Green. Shamar Stewart, kind of same thing as Michael Williams. I like him a bit better than Michael Williams, but NFL teams see a Georgia pass rusher and they absolutely are ecstatic. And I think the Atlanta Falcons go there. Arizona Cardinals. Basically, it's going to be a defender here. They need a lot of defensive help. There's guys that they need. They could go Nolan. They need interior defense here. They definitely need interior defense. They need pass rush. They need corners. Like they go basically anywhere. As you can see, my Bengals picking pick 17. I'll be rooting for Jade Barron here personally, because I don't think the Bengals will go in that direction. That's why I'll be rooting for the Cardinals to pick. But I really could see him going Nolan. I'm a big fan of Nolan, and I really want the Bengals to take him, so I hope they don't take him. But I could see Derek Harmon. Like, there's a lot of directions Arizona could go here. Arizona, I'm very clueless on where they go. They need defensive help. Barron, I mean, Arizona needs corners. They do. They need corners. What's the Arizona corner name from Syracuse? The Syracuse guy a few years ago came out of Syracuse. Oh, I can't think of his name. I'm blanking on his name. Oh, he's a solid player, but they need more help in that room. And I'm gonna take Jade Barron. I think general managers like him, but I'm kind of clueless on this pick. I could see him going pass rusher. I could see him going down here with Nolan, Kenneth Grant, or Derek Harmon. I'm gonna take Jade Barron though, and I think that's the direction they go in. Very tough pick at 16 there for the Cardinals. But we get to pick number 17, my Cincinnati Bengals. And there's so many good options here. So many good options. And it's really hard to mess this up. You look at guys like Mike Green, Jahad Campbell, Malachi Starks, Walter Nolan, Derek Harmon. Those five guys that is listed right there, I would be through the roof if the Bengals selected him. Shamar Stewart, I think that's potential. But if I look at Shamar Stewart, I basically see another Miles Murphy. And I don't want another project pass rusher. I want a guy that has elite productivity in college, and I like trends, and I like guys that have proved themselves at the collegiate level. Tyler Booker would be another guy here I would not be happy about. James Pierce, I think, is an elite player, but the character concerns are a little meh for me. I think the Bengals will be kind of turned off by that because of what happened with Jermaine Burton last year and all that. But what I genuinely think is going to happen here is the defensive lineman from Ole Miss, Walter Nolan. Welcome to the Cincinnati Bengals. I think he is the guy the Bengals will opt to take, and that is our guy at pick 17. But I also could see the Derek Harmon. I could see a lot of different directions. I could see safety. I could see Derek Harmon direction. There's a lot of ways the Bengals could go. We're about almost 20 minutes into this video already. We're going to speed it up a little more in the later rounds, but I said on my community tab, I said this video is going to be over an hour, and I knew that, so buckle up. We still got a long way to go. Pick number 18, Seattle Seahawks. I have a good idea on this one too. Where is he? He's considered inside offensive lineman. Gray Zabel, North Dakota State, most versatile offensive lineman in this draft. Seattle needs inside offensive line help, and I think he's the perfect fit for what Seattle Seahawks are building. I could see Tyler Booker. I could see Donovan Jackson, wherever he is. He down here. Yeah, he's all the way down to 38 on the big board here. I could see him there, but I'm going to pick Gray Zabel to the Seahawks. So we're at pick number 19, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. As you can see, who's still on the board here. His stock has been falling in the past few weeks, and I have a team that I have an idea of where he's going to go. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting. It'll be very, very interesting. Okay, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 19. I also have a decent idea of where this is going to go. They could go pass rusher, but I think they're going to go with linebacker. Jahad Campbell has some medical concerns. I'm still a big fan of him. Levante David is getting on the older side. This would be a perfect guy to be your future linebacker, your linebacker of the future, the guy that you can plug in next to Levante David and be that guy. And when Levante David eventually retires, he is your elite linebacker of the future. I'm a big fan of this pick on the Buccaneers, and I'm going with Jahad Campbell there to number 19 at Tampa Bay. Next, Denver Broncos. So, you could probably see where I'm going with this. Number 20, Denver Broncos, Sean Payton. Has a few running backs in the room. Javonte Williams did walk out the door of Dallas Cowboys, but he still has Audric Estime, Jaleel McLaughlin. There's a few guys in there. Do either of those guys really, really cut it as an elite running back? No. Audric Estime showed some flashes. Jaleel McLaughlin has had some good games in the past, but they need that sure-handed guy. And who do I think that guy is? Omarion Hampton. Denver has been rumored to move up in the draft, potentially move up to the top 10 to try to get Genty, but I think they like Hampton as well, and I think they can stick and pick if they don't like the market to move up. Might cost a little too much, and they can move at number 20 and get Omarion Hampton. Number 21, Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers still making his decision on if he wants to play football or not, if he wants to join the Steelers. At this point, for Aaron Rodgers, it's Steelers or nothing. I do think Aaron Rodgers is eventually going to make his decision and join the Steelers, but right now, the Steelers quarterback is Mason Rudolph. And Mike Tomlin and the guys, I think finally he goes off the board. And I think they get Shador Sanders to be their quarterback of the future. Mike Tomlin gets his guy he wants, falls all the way to number 21 in his lap, and they get Coach Prime's kid, the Colorado product out of Boulder, Shador Sanders. By the way, that does not mean I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to the Steelers. I still think Aaron Rodgers goes to the Steelers. I think Rodgers starts the start of the season. Sanders sits behind him for a year, and Rodgers probably signs a 1 year deal. And obviously, Sanders is the Steelers quarterback of the future. Similar to a Jordan Love situation with Green Bay, but I don't think it happens that it gets dragged out that long. Jordan Love sat for like 2 or 3 years, so I just take a sip of water there. Get buckled up here. We've been talking for a little while here. Number 22, Los Angeles Chargers. There's still quality guys on the board. You see Mike Green, a guy that's expected to go pretty high still on the board here. But I think the Chargers' biggest need here is interior defensive line help. John Harbaugh, the Michigan man, knows Kenneth Grant, and I think that him or Derek Harmon would be a good pick here. It's really all who the Chargers prefer. I think they go interior defensive line here. And I think that guy would be either Kenneth Grant or Harmon. I'll say they take Grant because I don't know, Michigan connection there, I guess, but I could see Harmon there. It's all about who they prefer in that defensive line room. But yeah, give me Kenneth Grant. Okay, we got a lot going on here. Obviously, Green Bay Packers on the clock next. And I'm gonna have my second trade of the draft right here. And it's not a quarterback. It's not a quarterback. It's not what you think it is. It's not a quarterback yet. So I'm gonna have a pass rush needy team moving up. question is, who really, really has the, I'd say, draft capital to move up and make a move like that for a guy? There's a lot of different teams that could go in that direction. Let me look at the draft board real quick. I had Carolina taking Mason Graham. I have one team in mind that I could see move up. I could see Tennessee move back into the first round. Mm, See, this is where it gets tough with trades. This is where it gets tough because there's a lot of direction I could see teams go. Okay, I have an idea. I'm gonna pick the Tennessee Titans to move back up. The Tennessee Titans move back into the first round with the Green Bay Packers. Obviously 23. Green Bay gets 35, but Green Bay's also gonna get a haul. They're gonna get pick number 103, which is the first pick of the fourth round. And they're also gonna get a late rounder with like I'll say 178 to move up 12 spots and get a guy they want. Tennessee moves up to number 23. And if you remember, there was a lot of talk about them picking Abdul Carter at number 1 overall. They go quarterback, they miss out on the pass rusher, and they see a guy still on the board, Mike Green, the edge from Marshall. I think the Tennessee Titans move in and snag him at number 23 overall. Minnesota Vikings, I also have an idea of where I've wanted this pick to go for months. I could see it a few different directions. Like I could see Tyler Booker, but I think the absolute perfect pick here would be Malachi Starks. Obviously, we saw Cam Bynum walk in the offseason. Now in Indianapolis, Colt, Harrison Smith, one more year probably in Minnesota, getting on the older side. I think Starks would be the perfect pick for the Minnesota Vikings, and that's the direction I think they go. Houston Texans 25. Also been a lot of rumors about them potentially working the phones and trying to move up. But they see two offensive linemen right here, Tyler Booker and Josh Simmons. Who do they prefer? I'd say they probably need more interior offensive line help a little bit more. But Josh Simmons, a lot of general managers have liked his medical concerns. And I think that's the direction they go in. The tackle from Ohio State. A lot of executives have loved him. And I'm going to go Simmons to the Texans. Okay, we're moving a little bit quicker here. Los Angeles Rams at number 26. Again, there's options here. I think Booker would be a very good pick at the interior. The Rams, they need that solidified guy in the interior. You can never have enough offensive linemen. You can have depth. Does Sean McVay go that direction? Nick Warrior would also be a good pick there. Kobe Durant's back there. Like they could use another body in that room. Derek Harmon, Sean McVay likes his young offensive linemen. So I don't know. I don't really know where they go here. Donovan Ezra still on the board too. Does he fall in the second round? I think I'm gonna take Booker. I think I'm gonna take Booker, but yeah, I think the Rams need a solidified guy on the interior. I'm gonna take Booker. Let's move. Baltimore Ravens. John Harbaugh loves the pass rushers that they have. Zach Orr. You can never have enough pass rushers in the NFL. I think David Ojabo was just clearly a huge miss. Kyle Van Noy's getting a little on the older side, still producing, but getting a little on the older side. Baltimore could use a pass rusher, but they could also use a guy like Emeka Ibuka or what's his face? Luther Burden. Where's Luther Burden? Did I miss him? Luther Burden. I think they're gonna go defensive end, one of these three guys. Stewart. Do you like Shamar Stewart? I think he goes pretty late in the first round here. Teams like him. James Pierce Jr. There's character concerns there. Could Baltimore swoop in on him? Donovan Ezra Boston College. A lot of people are fans of him. And I think I'm gonna take James Pierce Jr. I think I'm gonna take James Pierce Jr. here to opt going to the Baltimore Ravens, and that kind of scares me because I'd rather see him take Shamar Stewart because I'm a big fan of James Pierce Jr. I think he's gonna be an absolute beast in the NFL. The character concerns are a real problem, and I think that's the direction that Baltimore goes in. We're moving. Okay. Detroit Lions. Here we go. Moving into the back half of the first round. Obviously, none of these four teams are quarterback needy. There's one team that I see that moves here. There's one team that I have in mind. One team that I have in mind. Not player. New Orleans Saints. Detroit gets 40. Detroit gets picked 40 here. And Detroit's gonna ask for a pretty hefty haul in return because of they know what the Saints have envisioned here. So I'm gonna go 71 in 112. Does that do it to move up 12 spots? Does that get through? It does. New Orleans Saints pick 28. Their guy, Jackson Dart, the quarterback from Ole Miss. In my opinion, not a first round prospect, but teams view him as that. Most teams view him as quarterback three, I think, and I think the Saints are big fans of him. Kellen Moore, obviously the quarterback guru, was a quarterback at Boise State. Opt to not take a quarterback at number nine. Who knows? Maybe they solidify Jackson Dart at number nine and it shakes up the entire entire draft process, similar to what Michael Penix did last year. But I think they move up to the back half of the first round, snag Jackson Dart from Ole Miss, and he is the New Orleans Saints guy. Washington Commanders, it's pass rusher here. It's either interior D line or it's pass rusher. Choose your character again. Ezeraku, Shamar Stewart, and I think they opt for Shamar Stewart here because it's been a little bit too long for him to not go off the board now, and I think that's their guy. They have been in the Trey Hendrickson sweepstakes. They were rumored to send over an offer to the Bengals. Obviously, nothing happened. Who knows? Could be a potential Trey Hendrickson trade on draft night. I don't think it's going to go in that direction, but you never know. But Shamar Stewart, welcome to the Washington Commanders. Buffalo Bills. That's all I see. That is all I see for the Buffalo Bills here. And I'm going to go Nick Emanwari as your newest Buffalo Bill. The Bills, Sean McDermott gets a new safety there. They get the guy out of South Carolina. Stock risen a little bit during the combine, and he moved to be a first round prospect. And they get their guy. Kansas City Chiefs. You look at offensive tackle. Look at offensive tackle first. Josh Connerly Jr., the guy from Oregon. The Kansas City Chiefs could steal him. They did bring in Jalen Moore, that swing tackle from the San Francisco 49ers last year. They brought him in as a free agent. Do they view him as a starter? I don't know. Last year, they drafted Kingsley Suamaiya. Did not really produce in year one. Was a big mess. And I think they're going to go in the tackle direction. I really could see receiver. I could see D line. Who knows how that whole process goes? But I think it's pick 31. Josh Connerly Jr. is still on the board. That's the direction I'm going to go in. Your newest Kansas City Chief, Josh Connerly Jr., another protection piece for Patrick Mahomes. And we finish off the first round with the Super Bowl champs, the Philadelphia Eagles. And you know what? You know what Howie Roseman loves? He loves pass rushers, right? He loves pass rushers. Howie Roseman is an advocate for you can never have enough pass rushers in the National Football League. So that leads me to believe Donovan Ezeraku, Boston College, joining the Super Bowl champions with the last pick of the first round as another pass rusher, and that makes the Eagles' defensive line more scary than it already is, and it gives the Eagles another piece of pass rush to add to that puzzle. Bryce Huff was a big failure last year, so that gives the Eagles another pass rusher. Okay, round one is in the books. I'm going to do a little bit of a scroll here so you can see, recap the entire first round. A little bit of an interesting draft. I mean, I don't know. It's obviously not going to be perfectly accurate. I just have a lot of fun doing these every single year. And I think it's fun to see what teams might trade up. Obviously, I tend to see a wild card team, a wild card that could potentially trade up in the draft. There has been no talks about Tennessee trading up. So that's a little team. All they see a pass rusher on the board, they swoop in and snag one. You see New Orleans trade into the back half of the first round for Dart, the Genty trade all the way in the top 10. So obviously, yeah. And now we get to the round two. Obviously, you have to take into account what was the draft picks these teams previously had. You can't take the same position twice. So we got to keep that in mind. Try to stay on track here and get this thing done. We're at pick 33 now. Cleveland Browns, first pick of the second round. As you can see, their first pick was Travis Hunter. I assume they play him as a wide receiver. That's what Andrew Berry has advocated for. But now you get to the second rounds. You see guys like Maxwell Hairston. He is attending the draft actually on Thursday night. Could he be picked in the first round? Jack Sawyer, the Ohio State guy. Mason Taylor, obviously mocked. He's been mocked to the end of the first round lately. He'll be a guy. Jalen Milrow. Is that the guy they take there? I don't know. I don't know. Is that the guy they take? I don't know if they take him this early. That's the thing I'm saying. Like, I don't know if they take him this early. That's kind of like I could see Milrow here, but I don't think he goes that early. We'll see what happens. I do think he goes in the second round though. So I don't know. I think adding Derek Harmon slipped all the way to the second round would be a very, very good addition. They could use a corner. They really could. If they view Travis Hunter as a receiver, they could get Maxwell Hairston and use him as cornerback one. I think the Browns is gonna advocate for best player available. They get another defensive lineman in that room. I think they're gonna go draft Derek Harmon, first pick of the second round. They see him fall all the way to the second round. Should have been a first round pick, and they swoop in and grab him. New York Giants at pick 34, obviously, their first round pick was Abdul Carter. There's directions they could go here. Maxwell Hairston, the cornerback at Kentucky, again, another guy that I could see going right there. Ben Morrison, I'm a big fan of him, was previously mocked in the first round a little bit earlier in the draft cycle, ended up falling a little bit. He's probably in the second rounder now. Trey Harris, another guy that probably goes in the second rounds. It gets a little dicey come this time of the draft, but I'm gonna opt for Maxwell Hairston. I think general managers love him. He's attending the draft on Thursday night. Who knows if he's still there on Friday? But he's waiting till day two to hear his name called. Could see it called in the back end of day one, but I'm gonna opt for day two. And the Giants get him at pick 34. Green Bay Packers pick 35, a pick acquired from the Tennessee Titans now. And I think they've had their eyes set on one guy, and it involves one of these guys, Luther Burden or Emeka Abuka. I think it's a wide receiver here. They add another body in that room. Christian Watson's had injury issues. Jaden Reed has been off and on, one of the most inconsistent receivers in the league. I mean, Romeo Dobbs had injury issues. I think they add another guy to that room, and I think their guy is Luther Burden out of Missouri. In my opinion, is very, very underrated. Was previously mocked as a first rounder. Again, his stock fall a little bit. Now mocked as probably a second rounder, and that's the direction that I see him going. Jacksonville Jaguars. I believe I picked Kelvin Banks for the. Oh, I picked Ted McMillan. I picked Ted McMillan. Good thing I checked because I would have thought I picked Kelvin Banks. So again, receiver could be an option here because they could take a Buka. Wait, wait, what am I saying right now, bro? They just picked Ted McMillan. Receiver can't be an option here because they're not going to pick two receivers. Already have Brian Thomas Jr. in the room and Gabe Davis and all that. They brought in Diami Brown. Receiver's not an option. Okay, get that in my brain. Nick Thornton is a guy out of Texas A&M. Teams might like Ben Morrison, a corner. Jacksonville could use a corner. All D lineman. Landon Jackson, I believe he's a hybrid between the defensive end and interior D line, but Landon Jackson be a guy. Darius Alexander, a little bit on the older side, but a guy teams like. Mason Taylor could be a guy. Jacksonville did just lose Evan Ingram. I think I might go with him here. You know, Evan Ingram is now a Bronco. Tyler Warren has been heavily mocked to Jacksonville in the first round, and I think Mason Taylor, Miami Dolphins legend, Jason Taylor, his son, out of LSU, and I think they're going to go with him here. Give me Mason Taylor, Jacksonville, pick 36. Vegas. I picked Membu, obviously offensive tackle, not a need here now. I would have said running back, and I could see Travion Henderson here. Judkins, some teams might prefer Judkins, Caleb Johnson. This running back class is very, very good. A lot of quality guys here. Could see Pete Carroll really liking Travion Henderson, and I could see him going at pick 37 here. And at this time, it gets a little dicey, and that's the direction I'm going to go in. Give me Travion Henderson. They missed out on Ashton Genty in round one. They snagged Henderson in round two. That's their guy. New England Patriots, and it's pretty self-explanatory for me here. Get Drake May some weapons. Stephon Diggs, a little bit on the older side now. Obviously, I like that move, but your wide receiver two is Pop Douglas, Demario Douglas, or Kendrick Bourne, however you want to view it. Get Drake May, his solidified wide receiver of the future that he can know he's going to be throwing to for at least the next 4 years, and that is his guy in New England for years to come. Emeka Ibuka is their guy. New England finally takes a receiver, and I hope he pans out because obviously they took Javon Baker last year. They took the other kid, what's his name, from Washington. They took Polk. They took Polk from Washington. Neither of those guys really produced in year one that greatly. So yeah, Jacksonville Jaguars on the clock again and again. There's directions they have here. They just picked Mason Taylor. Their first round pick was Ted McMillan. Two weapons they picked. I think this time it goes towards trenches. Do they take Donovan Jackson from Ohio State? Get a guard. Brandon Scherf is now, or he is a free agent, not going to be brought back by the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Donovan Jackson would be a good pick there. I think Scorton would be a good pick. I think Ben Morrison would be a good pick. Darius Alexander. So there's options here. There's options here for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, interior D line is a need for them. I think it's probably the bigger need, and I'm gonna go. Ugh, Nick Scorton. Did they take Scorton? Scorton go that early? But I could see him. A lot of teams like Darius Alexander. I'm gonna take Darius Alexander. He's a little bit on the older side, but he's right there with Landon Jackson. I think a lot of teams are gonna like him better than Scorton. Scorton was originally projected to be a first round pick. Again, another guy whose stock's fallen a little bit in the past few weeks. So yeah, that's a guy. Oh, my chair's all messed up there. That's why I was looking. Chair's all messed up. Um, Darius Alexander, pick 39 to Jacksonville. Pick 40, Detroit Lions, their first pick of the draft. They traded down with the New Orleans Saints back half of the first round. And there's directions, there's ways they can go here. They could go Jack Sawyer. He's projected to go a little later in the second round, though. They could take a guard, Marcus Bow. Score in, just get another defensive lineman in that room. Donovan Jackson. I mean, I could see. I have a list of needs written down over here. Guard is one of their biggest needs, but so is defensive ends. I think Detroit needs another guy in that guard room, and I think Donovan Jackson could be that guy. I'm gonna take him. Chicago Bears pick 41. They originally also had pick 39. Jacksonville acquired that pick in the Genty trade, but here they are on the clock at pick 41. Obviously, Genty was their last pick, and I do think it's gonna be defensive lineman here. Had another guy in that room. They did bring in pass rusher, the guy from Odiingbo from the Colts. They have Montez Sweat there still, but I think they bring in another guy in the interior defensive line room here. Get a guy in the trenches for the defense for Dennis Allen's crew. And I think it's one of these two guys. I think these two guys are probably a little bit farther ahead in this crew. I do like TJ Sanders a lot though. TJ Sanders or more Omar Norman Law. Omar Norman Law's more of a pass rusher than a run stopper though, so that's a little but I'm a big fan of TJ Sanders. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna take Nick Scorton here. I think Texas A&M product to go to Chicago Bears. Okay, through 41 picks, we are 44 minutes in, so it's gonna be we gotta buckle up here. We still have a lot to go. We have a long way to go, so we gotta buckle up and go a little bit quicker here. Trying to go a little bit over an hour, but it's gonna be like a movie. So so 11:15 my time. Already made it 44 minutes. So New York Jets, their first round pick was Tyler Warren, I believe. Yep, it was Tyler Warren. Back on the clock, I picked number 42. If there's no one that really stands out here, do they have someone that stands out? They really want somebody corner. They did lose DJ Reed to Detroit, but I don't know if they go there with that. Tackle. I think they could like a tackle here. Where's the kid from Arizona? Yeah, this guy is probably going to be an early second round pick. A lot of teams, I don't know how to say his last name, Jonah Savania. I've watched some of him. I'm a fan of him. Marcus Bow I like too. I think Jonah can play both tackle and guard, if I'm correct here. I think he can play both tackle and guard. Do they want a pure tackle? They could take Ursary from Minnesota, and it's called a day. Yeah, I guess I'll take the surefire tackle here. I'll take Ursary from Minnesota, but I could see him going Jonah. Um, I'll go the Minnesota guy though. San Francisco 49ers. Their first pick was Banks. They took Banks, right? They took Banks, yeah. They took offensive lineman. I think this is corner. And I think it's one of these guys for sure. Definitely corner here. Revel, Thomas Amos, Ben Morrison. I'm a big fan of. I hope teams like him. And you know what? I'm gonna have the 49ers take him here. I'm a big fan of him from Notre Dame, obviously. I've watched some of him because the Al Golden connection to the Bengals and all that, but give me Ben Morrison to join the 49ers and be their guy. Dallas Cowboys, their first round pick was Matthew Golden. Their biggest need I've written down guard, edge, interior defensive line, outside receiver, Landon Jackson from Arkansas. They could use Jack Sawyer, get another guy in that room. I mean, they could take running back. They could take running back, could take Judkins realistically, but I think they might wait to take running back. And I think you go with positional value here. You go Landon Jackson. They have Javonte Williams in the running back room still. Go with Landon Jackson, get another piece on the interior, and get a nice piece that could be a first round pick. Who knows? But yeah. Indianapolis Colts. Defensive end here, probably. I think you have a lot of defensive ends still on the board. JT, Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer was originally mocked to be a first rounder. His stock fell a little bit. Olu Oladejo. Big fan of this guy. I think he's very, very underrated. I think not enough people are talking about him. Braden Swinson, good player. So there's some very, very quality players on this board here. I think Jack Sawyer will probably be a second round pick just because of the Ohio State defensive end connection, but JT, it's really who they prefer here. I'm going to end up going with Jack Sawyer to the Colts, and they get done with that. Here we go, Atlanta Falcons. I'm looking at my team fits. I have a thing of team fits here. Edge, wide receiver, inside offensive line, and linebacker. First rounder, they took Michael Williams. They got a defensive end. I don't think that's the direction they go. I could see Marcus Bow here, inside offensive line. They need some support there. Jonah, I'm a big fan of Jonah. I think they see if you're the Falcons here, you see some very, very quality guards. Tate Ratledge, I'm a big fan of. Big fan of him. Um, I mean, there's directions they could go here. Corner they could go. Mm, I'm gonna keep him here. I was thinking about trading down with him, but I'm gonna keep him here. Oh, this where it gets a little tough. I think I'm just gonna go with Jonah Savania. I don't even know how to say his name exactly, but I've watched a little bit of him and I'm a fan of him. So I'm gonna go with him there. Guard from Arizona. I'm pretty sure he can play tackle too. I'm pretty sure he can play both. So yeah. Arizona in the first round. They took Jade Barron. I for sure think it's trenches here. It's definitely trenches, surely, right? It's got to be trenches. Carson Swessinger, also a guy that fall all the way this far, could be a first round pick in real life, or yeah, in real life, in the actual draft. Arizona probably needs some linebacker help too. Honestly, this might be where I have him going. This might be where I have him going here. Hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Schlesinger here. Um, Arizona needs defense. Obviously, we saw him Chick Jay Barron in the first round. And I'm gonna have him taking Schlesinger here and roll with it. Miami Dolphins, pick 48. In the first round, who do I have him taking? I am taking Will Johnson in the first round. I think it's offensive line. Offensive line here likely. Go tackle. I think Cam Williams would be a very, very good pick. Last year, his stock was a little bit higher. He was probably a first round pick in last year's cycle if he entered last year at Texas, but decided to stay at Texas more. And I think Cam Williams would be a very, very good, very, very good pick for the Dolphins here. And that's where I'm having him going. And here we go. My Bengals are on the clock again. And eh, I don't know. There's a lot of good players here. A lot of good players I would not be mad about taking Xavier Watts. So I have to take him, right? I have to take him. I have to take him. TJ Sanders is a guy I really like too, but I like Watts so much. In the first round, we did take Walter Nolan, Xavier Watts. The Bengals have a need at safety, and getting him at pick 49 would be a slam dunk, I think. Played elite in the college football playoffs. Obviously, the Al Golden connection is there. Yeah, I can't pass on him. I'm taking Xavier Watts. I'm not passing there. I'm not passing on him. I can't. I can't do that. Seattle Seahawks, two of the next three picks. Gray Zabel in the first round. Different directions they could go here. They could go interior D line, then go running back. I mean, they do have Charbonnet and Walker, but there's been rumors that they might move off one of those guys. Could take defensive ends. They could take Milrow. This could be a sleeper team for Milrow. They do have two picks here. They do have two picks. You know what? Let's move. Let's get our first trade in the second round here. Cleveland Browns. 82 and 137. I think I'm gonna give it 82. I'm gonna give Seattle 82. It's what 17 picks for Cleveland here, and you probably know what direction I'm going in here. Let's get that trade through. Just a little. So here's a little. I know we're probably almost an hour in at this point, and there's a little bit of disclaimer now, but these trades aren't going to be exactly accurate like the compensation in the trades. I just kind of want to get the trades through, swap picks, like a little bit what it looks like. Obviously, Seattle will probably get pick 67 in that trade, and if that swap actually happened, you see Seattle has two picks right here. They have pick 52 now, and they got pick 82 in that move, or 92 was it? They got pick 92 in that move. So you see Cleveland move up, and you probably know the direction I'm going here. Jalen Milrow, welcome to the Cleveland Browns. Andrew Berry has talked highly of him. He's been compared to Lamar Jackson. He's been compared to every speedster quarterback you ever seen in the National Football League. So give me Milrow there to Alabama. Denver Broncos pick 51. We had him taking Hampton last time. There's directions. There's options here for him. Options. D line could be a position they go. They could go defensive end, wide receiver. JT would be a good pick here. Trey Harris, I think, would be a good pick. TJ Sanders would be a good pick here. Mm, I don't think they take corner. These three corners on top of the board are kind of sitting here. Um, I think I'm gonna go JT. He's an Ohio State defensive end. Positional value. The Broncos have Cortland Sutton. Like they have Davon Vele, they have Marvin Mims, so receiver is not a gaping need. They made the playoffs last year with that core, and I think they can improve. Marvin Mims had a really good year last year, and I'm gonna say they take JT Tuimoloau. Tui Molau. I don't even know how to fully say his name, but Seattle, we just saw him trade down. They took Gray Zabel last time. We just saw a trade down this scenario. Trenches, I'd assume. Trenches. They could take wide receiver. Nowadays in Seattle, it's JSN and Cooper Cup. I could see a receiver. Could see trenches. Jack Besh is probably a day two pick here somewhere. Isaiah Bond did have some legal trouble, so probably will fall a bit more. But if a team wants to ignore his legal trouble, Jaden Higgins, a lot of people really like him. But I'm gonna go with Trey Harris. Could potentially be a back end of the first round pick, and I'm gonna take him here at 52. Tampa Bay Buccaneers pick 53. I do think it's corner here. I do think it's corner. Get a guy with Jamel Dean. And it's really it's choose your character again. Who do you like here? Ozzy Thomas, Siobhan Revel, Trey Amos. I mean, I'm gonna take Siobhan Revel, I guess, because he's number one on this big board. It's really all who Jason Light and the boys in Tampa prefer the most. I'm gonna take Revel here to make his way to Tampa Bay. Pick 54. Check my phone real quick. Pick 54, Green Bay Packers. We saw them take, who was it? Luther Burden. I think it was making sure it wasn't a Buka. We saw him take Luther Burden last time. Again, a team that could use a corner. And I think it's one of these guys, Trey Amos or Azure Thomas. Trey Amos went to Ole Miss. He's a guy I think is getting more talked about in the draft cycle than Azure Thomas, so I'm gonna go with him. But it's again, choose your character at corner. I'm gonna take corner back to back here. Tampa Bay and Green Bay. Los Angeles Chargers. They took Kenneth Grant last time, I do know that. My biggest needs I have listed as wide receiver, inside defensive line, who they just took Kenneth Grant, and then cornerback. So could we see cornerback back to back to back? They did lose Asante Samuel. They could just draft a receiver and call it a day. Put a guy next to Lad McConkey. I think that would be a good idea. I like Jaden Higgins a lot, Isaiah Bond. This receiver, I could see a trade down here too. A trade down scenario I could really see for a team that could potentially want trenches here. Tyleik Williams or TJ Sanders or something in that department. A wide receiver needy team that I could see trading up. I mean, I could see Baltimore moving up a few spots, maybe above Carolina, to get above Carolina and Buffalo, maybe. Yeah, let's spice it up. Let's spice it up. Let's have Baltimore move up. 55 59, only a four spot switch. Can't see the trade scenario fully, but let's see. 55 59, only a four spot change here. You see, it's probably not gonna be, it's probably pick 129 or something like that. We'll get the trade through like that. Baltimore moves up. They snag a receiver. They have a guy in mind. Jaden Higgins, Iowa State. In my opinion, best receiver on the board, maybe outside of Isaiah Bond. But with Isaiah Bond, there's legal trouble there. I think he turned himself in a few weeks ago or something like that. Jack Besh is a guy who shined at the Senior Bowl, but I think Jaden Higgins is a guy that goes there. Buffalo Bills. They took Nick Imamwari. Yeah, they took Nick Imamwari last time. And they could go trenches, could go offensive line. My biggest needs for them are edge, linebacker, and corner. They could take Princely. Darian Porter still there. TJ Sanders still there. I guess I'll go with Princely. I'll go with Princely to Buffalo there. Ole Miss product. Carolina Panthers. I think this is a receiver here. Last time we saw them take Mason Graham. They do need a lot of defensive help, but I think it's one of these guys. Jack Besh, I think would be a good pick here. Isaiah Bond does have some legal trouble, so I don't know. Do they like those guys a lot though? They're not going to go interior D line because they just took Mason Graham. They really need defensive help everywhere, if we're being totally honest. Harold Fannon's a guy that probably goes around this ballpark, but Carolina just took Jadavion Sanders last year. Mm, I don't know. I guess I'll just go with Isaiah Bond here. I don't know if the legal trouble will force them to go to the third, but we'll take him here with Carolina. We're almost an hour and we're 59 minutes in exactly right now. We're probably going to push an hour and a half with how long the first round is if we keep going at this pace. I'm trying to go a little bit quicker here, but obviously we're going to break over an hour. So we're still only a little over halfway. So yeah. Houston Texans. Brevin Jordan was hurt last year. They still have Dalton Schultz, so I do not think they go, though they don't go, I don't think they go Fannin, I should say. This is the team that took, who did they take? Josh Simmons, the offensive lineman. They do need a lot of offensive line help. My biggest needs for them are offensive line and wide receiver. And get another wide receiver in that room. I think they could go the offensive line again, if I'm being honest with you. Just interior this time, not tackle. Interior, I could see him taking Bo. Ratledge is a guy I'm a big fan of. I hope he falls to the Bengals in the third round, be an absolute slam dunk. But I'm gonna go with Bo, the guard from Purdue. I liked his drills a lot at the combine. I think he shined at the combine, boosted his stock a little bit from maybe the third to the second a little bit. He's gonna make himself a little bit of money, and he's gonna do his Houston Texan. Did not mean to do that. Okay. Los Angeles Chargers, we saw them just move down a few picks ago. They took interior defensive line last time, and I think Ozzie Thomas still falls into their lap. Slam dunk. Give me Thomas to the Chargers. Detroit Lions took Donovan Jackson last time. Honestly, Detroit Lions, they do not have a lot of needs. Like, they don't have a lot of needs across the board. Like, there's not many, there's not like a crazy amount of directions that they can go. My biggest needs for them are edge and guard, which obviously they just snagged a guard. They really don't have many needs. They don't. They have Sam Laporta. They could add another ball to the D line room. Readers get on the older side, and Ali McNeil has had injury concerns. I could see him Tyleek Williams, TJ Sanders here. Omar Norman Law was Deion Walker. Deion Walker's down there. I am going to take TJ Sanders here. Detroit really doesn't have a lot of needs. I guess I could see him taking Jack Besh for another receiver in that room, but really, man, they just don't have a lot of needs. Washington took Shamar Stewart last time, and I think it's probably more defense for them. My biggest needs for them are edge, running back, offensive line, and cornerback. Could be defense again, but there's another guy in Quinshon Judkins who I think would fit really, really well next to Jaden Daniels in this offense. Imagine adding Quinshon Judkins to an offense with Jaden Daniels, Debo Samuel, Terry McLaurin. Zach Ertz is a good player. They did lose Diami Brown. I'm gonna take Judkins here. I'm gonna take Judkins. I think gets snagged before any of these teams right here, and Washington ends up taking him. Buffalo Bills. They just picked a few picks ago. They picked Princely. Boone. I don't know. I still want to say his name. Princely. Princely. We'll leave it there. Buffalo Bills picked him at pick 56. Pick 62 now for the Bills. Elijah Arroyo. I mean, or Harold Fannon's still there. I could see a trade down here. I could see a trade down for a tight end needy team. Who's a really tight end needy team? Indianapolis already took one. Mm, New Orleans Saints, I guess. They already moved up once in this draft, though. Don't know if they lend that many draft picks. Chicago Bears. They already moved up once too, though. I don't know. I don't know if I could see a team move up for him here. I don't know. Probably gonna have to wait. Probably gonna wait on that. Oh, I have an idea. I have an idea. Probably I have an idea of where he's gonna go. But Buffalo here. Get back on track. My biggest needs edge, linebacker, corner. They already took an edge. They already took a safety. Again, like this is tough. They could add another receiver to that room. They did lose Matt Collins in the offseason. Jalen Noel's good. Jack Besh, Io Manor, Restrepo. Restrepo probably goes late day two. Tej Johnson probably goes late day two. Had a really, really bad combine there. I'll just take Jack Besh. I'll take Jack Besh to the Buffalo Bills there and call it there. Okay, here we go now. Kansas City Chiefs. Travis Kelce, obviously getting on the older side now, was contemplating retirement, reportedly contemplating retirement going into this offseason, decided to stay. And you give Patrick Mahomes a guy like this, Harold Fannin, in my opinion, one of the more underrated guys in the draft, going projected probably back end of the second round as we are right now. I'm gonna go Fannin. It's Fannin or Arroyo. I like Fannin better, to be honest with you, from Bowling Green. I think Kansas City, Andy Reid, and the guys there get their Travis Kelce replacement in the future. They go Harold Fannin Jr. from Bowling Green, and they get their guy. And then I actually think we see tight ends go back to back here. This tight end class is pretty good. Dallas Goedert has been rumored to be a trade candidate during this draft. I don't know if they pulled the trigger during the draft, but even if Dallas Goedert plays for the Philadelphia Eagles next season, there is still a chance that they take a tight end, a security blanket, get another guy for Hurts. The Super Bowl champs add another guy, and they take Elijah Arroyo out of Miami. Okay, we're through 2 rounds. We made it through 2 rounds. Go back to the top. I'm gonna do a little bit of a scroll here. We had some very, very quality players going early, and still some good players on the board here going to the third. But the second round is really the meat and potatoes of the draft. Just how good do you draft? The second and third round, day two, is the most important day of the draft in my eyes. How do you draft on day two? Really, it makes your entire draft how you draft on day two. Here we go, round three, longest round of the entire mock draft we're gonna do here. Let's roll. Let's get this done. Let's do it. New York Giants. My biggest needs QB, offensive tackle, interior D line, corner. We saw them take Hairston and Carter. Interior D line, Tyler Williams. That could be a good pick there. Alfred Collins. Tyrone Tracy was drafted there last year. Do not think they go that way with it. They could take Ratledge. Ratledge could be a good pick there. Really could. They do need some help interior wise. Yeah, I think that's the direction they could go. I hate to pick them here because I really want them to follow the Bengals at 81, but I'm going to opt to go with Ratledge here to the Giants. Kansas City Chiefs pick 66. I do not believe they added a receiver yet this draft. They added Connerly and they added Fannin. Probably D line here. Trenches add. You could never have enough in the trenches. Could be receiver. I like D line a little better here. Norman Watt, Deion Walker, Farmer. There's options here. Tyler Williams, Alfred Collins, Birch. I'm off to go with Omar Norman Law. Has a lot of pass rush upside from Tennessee, and the Chiefs snag him. Seattle Seahawks pick 67. I believe this is the pick they got from Cleveland. I believe they already took Trey Harris, and they took Gray Zabel. Didn't they have 3 picks? Am I bugging? Oh, we traded the Miller Road trade there. They took a wide receiver and they took an offensive lineman. Seattle Seahawks, my biggest needs: safety inside offensive line, wide receiver, and defensive end. Braden Swinson, I think I'm gonna go pass rush here. Oladejo would be a good pick. Josiah Stewart. I'm gonna go with Oladejo here, I think, and go with that there. Las Vegas Raiders. They have a pick in the second round. I haven't picked them. Oh, they did. They had Henderson. Yeah, they got Henderson and they got Membu. Raiders, obviously a lot of needs. They need a receiver. They need interior defensive line. I'll say this is finally he's 46 overall on this mock draft simulator's big board, and I think this is where I'll finally go with him. Give me Tyleik Williams from Ohio State to make his way to Vegas. New England Patriots, they took a receiver. Who they take? They took round two. They took a Buka round two, and they took Will Campbell round one. Again, a team that needs a lot. I could see a running back here. Caleb Johnson's a good player. Deion Walker. Like they have options. Makuba, I'm a big fan of him. Restrepo, they already took a receiver though, so I'm not gonna take Restrepo. Tyler Shuck is probably a guy that goes in the third round. In my opinion, he goes in the third round. I mean, who knows? Never know what happens on draft day. But yeah, I think it's Scatterboo. They like Scatterboo. They like Caleb Johnson. They already have Scatterboo and Ramondre Stevenson though, really. So I'm gonna go with Caleb Johnson. Put another body in there next to Stevenson. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I'm not undo the pick. Okay, I didn't mean to do that. Good thing we. Okay, let's put a PSA out. Good thing this mock draft simulator has an undo pick because I just picked Quinn Ewers to the Jaguars, which I don't believe is accurate. So good thing we can undo the pick. I'm glad about that. So yeah, Caleb Johnson, New England Patriots, number 69. Nice. Jacksonville Jaguars pick 70. Darius Alexander was their pick there, and they picked Ted McMillan. My biggest needs for them are wide receiver, running back, interior defensive line, and safety. I could see Makuba. Where's Makuba? All the way down here. Kevin Winston's also a very, very good player. I think I prefer Makuba though over Kevin Winston. Malachi Moore really his stock really falls since last year. He was projected early, like day one, day two pick last year, I think. But I'm gonna take Makuba here. Jacksonville gets their guy. Detroit Lions, TJ Sanders, and Donovan Jackson. This is where I think they go with the receiver here. Jalen Noel, Jalen Royers, Xavier Restrepo, huh? Tej Johnson's a speedster, did not have a fast 40-yard dash at the combine, but could be a good pick there. And Restrepo did not have a good 40-yard dash performance either. Is the all-time leading receiver in yards in Miami's history though, and just a proven guy. Cam Ward's security blanket his entire time there in Miami. Give me Restrepo to finally go off the board to the Lions. Okay, I'm gonna look at the board real quick. Okay, I have an idea of what I'm gonna do here. I have an idea. Okay. Chicago Bears. Last round they took Nick Scorton, they took Ashton Genty. They did lose Keenan Allen, so I mean, maybe receivers potential here. I could take pass rusher. You can never have enough pass rushers. Interior D line could be a need here. My biggest needs: running back, tight end, IDL, safety. Last round I had the Bears taking Scoring, which is D line. So I don't know. Maybe I said I'm taking corner. Put a guy instead of Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson. I don't know. Maybe I'll take offensive line. Offensive line here, I guess. Emory Jones, Charles Grant, the guy William and Mary. William and Mary probably have a lot of teams like him. I'll take Emory Jones here to the Bears. Give Braxton Jones a little competition at that tackle position. New York Jets. Now this is where I think Tyler Shuck ends up. I think this is where he finally ends up. And I think it gives Justin Fields a little bit of a fire under him. I think Justin Fields is their guy still, but I would not be surprised to see the Jets take a quarterback like Tyler Shuck a little this late. He's a little bit on the older side. I believe he's 25 years old already, but I'm gonna have him going there. They did take Jordan Travis last year. Did not. I don't even know. I don't think he played a minute last year. So I think he was hurt most of the year, and then a lot of things happened. I don't even know what fully happened with Jordan Travis, but yeah. Tyler Shough, Jets. Carolina Panthers. Have I had them taking a receiver yet? There's no way I didn't, right? I took Isaiah Bond with them. Okay. At this point in the mock draft, it gets a little dicey. Like I just have no clue. It gets a little dicey, so we're gonna speed up a little bit. We are an hour and 13 minutes in. So this is an hour plus longer banger. By the time we're done, we'll probably be an hour and a half. So we took Bond last round. They have 3 picks yet? I know they took Mason Graham round one. We're gonna take a corner, I think, or a linebacker or something like that. Could take Kevin Winston. Realistically, could take Kevin Winston. Denzel Burke is a guy like Darian Porter from Ohio State, higher on the big board. Probably gonna go a little bit higher in the draft. Give me Porter. San Fran, last round. They have a pick last round. To Morrison last round. And then they took who they take the first round? Kelvin Banks first round. So honestly, they're having a pretty good draft. To be if like this actually happened, they had a pretty good draft. Um, receiver? Question mark? Receiver? They could take IDL. They could take interior D line. I mean, they did lose. They did lose Hargrave to the Vikings. Birch, Farmer, Walker, Deion Walker from Kentucky's a guy that teams like. I guess I'll take Walker here. This where it gets a little dicey again, a little dicey here. I have no definite clue of where these guys are going. So I'm about to finish this video up, go eat lunch because I'm hungry. So it's already almost noon. So okay, we still have a lot of picks to go. So we have 102. So okay, pick 76 Dallas Cowboys. Who was their last one? Their last pick was wait, the last pick's 12. Matt Golden. Did I miss him here somewhere? They definitely picked in here. Oh yeah, Landon Jackson. They're a pretty good draft too. But pass rusher, tackle, I guess. I mean, my biggest needs for them: wide receiver, guard, edge, interior defensive line. We did see him take interior defensive line already. I'll take interior offensive line. I guess Charles Grant, Dylan Fairchild, probably go a little bit later though. I'll take Charles Grant here. I guess he's like a tackle guard hybrid, I believe. Could play both. So yeah. New England Patriots. They took a receiver already, and they took running back. And they took tackle. So it's gonna be defense. Defensive end, probably Braden Swinson. I think just gamble on the Patriots. Start moving here. Arizona Cardinals. Last round they took Schlesinger, and they took Barron in the first round. They need more defensive help than anything, and I think interior D line's probably a direction they could go again. Like Farmer. Farmer's probably a guy to go in this direction. Florida State product. Birch and Collins are a little bit higher on the big board here, but I'm gonna go with Farmer to the Cardinals. Texans. They took Bo, and they take Donovan Jackson. They took Josh Simmons. They took Josh Simmons. They took two offensive linemen already. I'm not sure they go offensive lineman again. They definitely need. I mean, Scatterboo definitely gets picked in this round, right? Scatterboo definitely gets picked in the like if we're looking at the running back class here. They have Mixon and they have what's his face, the Florida kid a few years ago, Damian Pierce. They have Damian Pierce. They have what's the dude like they have Ogunbowale, they have Mixon obviously. So there's not a few. There's not a. I don't think they take Scatterboo here, but I'm probably gonna have a trade up for Scat. I'm probably gonna have a trade up for Scatterboo in a few minutes here. Ugh. Ooh, Steelers would be a good team for Scatterboo, I guess. Texans. I'm taking offensive lineman twice. I guess I'll have him taking a receiver here. Uh, give me Tej Johnson, I guess. He's a guy I think teams might like. The production in college was definitely there. Give me Tez. Indianapolis Colts. Do they have a second round pick? They did. They took Jack Sawyer, and in round one, they took Colston Loveland. Mm, this is a guy, Quinn Ewers, I could see going here. Obviously, who knows the confidence. I don't know if Ewers goes second round, third round though. I mean, he might be a day three guy. Who knows the confidence they have in Richardson? They obviously brought in Daniel Jones. I don't know. Indianapolis Colts, my biggest needs to them: edge, tight end, linebacker. Go to the linebacker. Linebacker gets a little dicey towards this part of the draft. Barrett Carter's a guy who potentially go here. Ashton Galati at the edge. Where's Ashton Galati? Where's Ashton Galati? Oh, he's all the way down here. That is criminal, huh? But I think I'm gonna go. Who did I have taken last round? I take Jack Sawyer last round. I'll take interior here, I guess. I guess I'll just go with Birch. I'll go Collins. I'll go Collins, actually. It gets dicey. Here we are. The Bengals are back on the board. Scatterboo is a guy I would like. First of all, we just saw the Bengals restructure Zach Moss. So Zach Moss is most likely going to be on the team next year unless he doesn't make the team during training camp. Samaje Perine was brought back, and obviously Chase Brown is our starting running back. So, in my opinion, they likely don't draft a running back until day three. But I would love Scatterbo. I would love Scatterbo. I think I'm actually gonna have a trade back here. I think I'm gonna have a trade back. What's your biggest running back needy team? If you look at running back needy teams across the league, a team that hasn't taken a running back that's sort of running back needy. Um, I'm looking at my board here. Looking at my board. This one's dicey. This one's dicey for sure. Maybe I just have stick and pick. I love stick and pick, I think. Ugh. Kevin Winston's a guy, but we just took Xavier Watts. We took Nolan Watts. Ashton Gallatti's a defensive end. He's considered a defensive end, and I would love the Bengals. So I might have to. But they haven't taken a guard yet, though. Miles Frazier. I mean, maybe they just opt for Luke Kandra or a guy like that in the later rounds, and maybe go get Scherf and free agency. Yeah, I'm taking Galati, bro. Galati's considered a defensive end in my book. I think he's a little bit of a hybrid, and I'm gonna take him. I'm a big fan of his. Give me him at pick 81. Cleveland Browns. I think this is your Scatterbo team, probably. I was thinking of a trade up, so a team that could maybe move up for Scatterbo. They did not take a running back yet, correct? They took Milrow and they took Hunter, two offensive players. In my opinion, this is probably your Scatterbo team. Welcome to the Browns. Pittsburgh Steelers, they took Sanders, and in round two, they did not have a second round pick. So this is actually their second pick of the draft here. This is their second pick of the draft. Okay. Makes it a little bit more interesting here. Cam Scatterbo just went to Cleveland. Pittsburgh, directions they could go here. Wyatt Malone, they do need offensive line help. My biggest needs for the Steelers are QB, running back, cornerback. Who are the cornerback? Denzel Burke could be a guy here. I think Dorian Strong. I think I'm going to opt for Denzel Burke here, the Steelers. I would think maybe receiver, but obviously we see Metcalf was brought in, George Pickens is still there and all that. So Tampa Bay, edge running back, safety, linebacker. I could just take Winston here. I think Winston would be a good pick there for the Bucks. Yeah, I think I'm going to opt to take Winston wherever he is. He's down here. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay, we're getting to the home stretch here, finally. It's been a long time, long, long time. I honestly didn't expect the video to take this long. Almost been here for an hour and a half already. Pick number 85, Denver Broncos. They have taken, they took JT and they took Hampton. Could see receiver, could see defense. Um, could get Shamar Turner. I don't know if this many receivers, probably a receiver like dies out because this tier of receivers. I mean, Io Manner's pretty good, but this tier of receivers like starts to dwindle a little bit. I mean, I guess I'll take Io Manor. I guess I'll take Io Manor. I mean, it starts to dwindle a little bit around this tier of receivers. Most of them will be day three guys after this, like early day three guys. But yeah, charges. They obviously took defensive line already. What was their second rounder? Isaiah Thomas. I thought I had him taking receiver. Am I bugging? I thought I had him taking receiver at least one of the picks. Why might I have take receiver here too? I never mind what I just said. I guess Ty Felton's probably one of my favorite guys. Nick Nash, he had a great year. I don't know if you looked at that early though. Mm, I mean, I might just wait till day three for that. They can double up on interior defensive line if they want. Yeah, let's take pass rusher. Josiah Stewart. Yeah, I'll take Josiah Stewart there. Green Bay. They've taken. Receiver, I think, was that their only pick? They traded down. They traded down. That was their only pick? No way. That's nuts, huh? Yeah, they took Trey Amos. I was about to say. Um, I shouldn't go D line. They go pass rusher. They already took corner. Jared Ivey, Kyle Kennard. I guess Kyle Kennard. Sort of get dicey around here. Um, 88 Jacksonville Jaguars. We saw him take Ted McMillan. Is this second pick this round? They took Makuba. They took Darius Alexander. So this is their fourth pick this round here. I could see Quinn Ewers going here. I could see Jacksonville stacking a little bit of backup. I still believe they believe in Trevor Lawrence, but they did take a tight end already. Barrett Carter could be a guy that goes in this vicinity. Tyler Shuck already went, right? Yeah. To Demetrius Knight, I guess. Houston Texans, we gotta move, we gotta move. We're already an hour and a half through. Oh, I'm getting tired being here. Okay, Marcus Bowe, Josh Simmons. They've already picked. They picked Tej Johnson too. We'll go back to the offensive line department. I think Fairchild, Frazier. Pick your poison, really. Um, I guess I'll go interior. They already took two offensive linemen. Like, they took Charles Grant too, right? No, they didn't take Charles Grant. I'll take Wyatt Malone, I guess. Get another offensive lineman for the Texans. They need help on it. They need help there. So, okay, we got 12 picks left. We can finally see it on one scroll. It has been a long time coming. They went through a lot of draft picks here. Pick number 90, Los Angeles Rams. This could be a Quinn Ewers team too, I think. I might go with him here. This could definitely be a Quinn Ewers team. Why is Quinn Ewers down here too? Um, yeah, I haven't taken a quarterback yet. I don't think, right? Better not take a quarterback yet. I don't think they did. Where are the Rams, dude? The Jets took Shuck, right? The Jets took Shuck. They take him early third. I don't even know. I'm getting lost here. But I'm gonna take Quinn Ewers here. I don't think I think the Jets took Shuck, right? In the second round, maybe? No. Tyler Shuck. There we go. Jesus. Mess right now. Baltimore Ravens. Have they taken a receiver yet? They took Higgins. I'm gonna take tackle here, I think. Take Belton, Wilson, or Fairchild. They could go interior. They have some, like, I mean, I'll take Fairchild, I guess. Georgia product. Seattle Seahawks. Start moving here. Seattle Seahawks. Safety could be a safety could be a option here. I don't know. There's enough safeties there. This could be a trade down scenario. I mean, Ollie Gordon, does he go this high though? He had a great year, obviously, a few years ago. I'll take Shamar Turner here. Saints. Let's get the Saints a receiver here, I think. I don't think I took one there yet. They obviously traded up in the first round for Dart. They took the defensive end Michael Williams, or might have been Walker. I think they get a receiver here. Let's go Jalen Noel. Browns. I just took Scatterboo to Cleveland. They obviously got Jalen Milrow in this draft. They got Travis Hunter. They already got Travis Hunter. I mean, Barrett Carter as a pass rusher. Did they finally go to the defensive side of the ball? Yeah, let's have it happen. Let's go with Barrett Carter. Kansas City Chiefs. Pick 95. We are officially an hour and a half through. We are 129.50. Kansas City Chiefs, they've taken Connerly. They've taken Fannin. They took Omar Norman Law. We'll go Ty Felton. Okay. Eagles. I could take center. Jurgens just got extended a few days ago. Could take tackle. I think I took tight end already for them. Damn. Damn. Okay. I'll take Wilson. Maybe they see him as a versatile guy that can play different positions. Take him there. 6 picks left. Minnesota Vikings. I think they've only is this their second pick? I haven't seen the Minnesota Vikings in a long time. It feels like this might be their second pick of the draft. I do not think they have many picks at all. I took Malachi Starks before. I think they'll at this point you pound the table for Jordan Birch, and they're gonna go that direction. Miami Dolphins. I haven't seen them much either. This might be their third pick. Round one, they took Johnson. Round two, they have around yeah, they took Cam Williams. Round three, 98. I mean, what really like Miami interior D line, I guess. Ty Robinson, Nebraska will go there with that. Giants. Get into the crunch time with the Giants here. Do not think we took a receiver with them yet. I could take Royals. Belton, Sampson, I guess. I could take a running back. They're gonna have to swoop on this running back class eventually. There's a lot of teams that might prefer guys like Edwards or Harvey or like Gordon. Gordon could be a good pick for the Giants right here. And I'll take him. I'll take him right here over Sampson. 49ers pick number 100. Wait, actually, I'm gonna retract that Giants pick. And I might should I go Will Howard? Yeah, I was thinking let's go Will Howard there. Get get the Giants a third quarterback in that room. They're definitely gonna draft a quarterback in this class, right? Yeah, we'll take Howard. Niners. They did. I'm actually gonna go with Gordon here. I'm gonna go with Gordon here. They did lose what's his face? Jordan Mason to the Minnesota Vikings. I'm gonna go Gordon there. 101. Los Angeles Rams. We had him take quarterback last time. Took Booker round one. They have Adams. They have Adams and Puka in the room now. I'm having taking receiver Savion Williams, Kyle Williams. It's pick their poison at this point, man. I'll take Jalen Royals. And the final pick, the Detroit Lions. They've picked Restrepo, they picked Sanders, and they picked Jackson. They filled multiple holes. I'm gonna go defensive end. I'm gonna go Jared Ivey, I think. Makes sense to finish off the draft. And that is it. That is it. An hour, 34 minutes, and 20 seconds later, a 3 round mock draft is done. My second annual final 3 rounder. Last year I did a 3 rounder. I didn't have time to post the video. I remember posting the 3 round draft on my communities tab. on my community tab, but I did not end up posting a YouTube video for it this year. Thumbnails already made. We have the video made. 3 round mock draft with trades included. There's trades in different places and this and that and this and that. But after an hour and a half, it's finally done. I'm gonna leave these up for a few seconds so you guys can take a look. I honestly don't have any energy at all to recap them really. Um, that top four I'm really sure on. Other than that, it's pretty much a crapshoot. Um, I don't really have much to say after for an hour and 34 minutes. I'm pretty burnt out right now. I'm pretty hungry. I want to eat lunch. But I'll say one thing. My Bengals draft I really liked. I really liked getting Nolan, Xavier Watts on day two, and then Ashton Galati on day three. That was a slam dunk for me. But yeah, I'll leave these up for a second so you take a look at them. But yeah, that's about going to do it. This one took a lot of work. Not gonna lie, this one took a lot of work and time out of me. So if you guys do enjoy, please like, subscribe. That would all be very, very greatly appreciated. And I hope you guys enjoy the draft tomorrow night. I'll be watching all 3 days. I'll be watching tomorrow night, Friday night. Day two is my favorite day of the draft, Friday night, and Saturday as they go through the picks. I'm excited. One of the best days of the year coming up. And I hope you guys enjoy all of it. This will be up tomorrow morning. It's Wednesday morning as I'm speaking right now. It's 12:07 on Wednesday morning or Wednesday afternoon now. Hope you guys did enjoy. Enjoy the draft. I will most likely be back making some form of content next week, no matter it's basketball, NBA playoffs are going on right now. Something will happen probably next week, I'd assume. So I'll see y'all soon. Hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for me. See y'all next time.